Hello and welcome back to episode 8 of What If Civilization Started Over Waves Alternate History, and in today's episode we're gonna see World War III. Leave a like and a comment down below and don't forget to subscribe. This will help me a lot and it's only 1 or 2 clicks for you guys, so thank you for all that are doing this. And without further ado, let's start right into this war. We're gonna start at the Polish front, where the Polish can make advancements at the Baltic Sea, pushing up to this major city slowly and capturing it with the help of the Dutch, obviously. But old Imperial troops start to swarm into Polish territory and recapturing the capital immediately. But the Polish can still hold on to a lot of territory that they are captured with the help of the Dutch. On other fronts, like in the African Union and Andalusia, we see that the African Union pushes fast and deep into Andalusian territory, but not too far, as Andalusian troops as well as Catalonian troops and a bit of French troops are quickly stationed at the border and can hold off any other advances. In Poland, the Polish and the Dutch can still push up to the Baltic at the Baltic Sea, but quickly pushed back in the south on the south front as old Imperial troops and Russian troops begin to push them all the way back to the original defensive line, and it doesn't look really good because a lot of troops could be encircled in this attack, which is the case. And the Russians can push 2 major cities and get hold of from the other. And these troops slowly getting pushed back, first capturing this major city, from then out capturing the other major city that is left there. And a lot of troops are getting rescued by Dutch boats from this encirclement, and the Russians made huge advances in the Polish region. Down for the African Union can push a bit on the coast in the Mediterranean Sea, but loses a bit of ground in the center due to a push from Iberia. Finally, after a long time, the Romans and the African Union can make a landing in the Italian Union and landing in this major city, pushing down to the original capital, reclaiming it, and slowly pushing up the remaining lands and almost completely recapturing their once previously held lands. Now it's pretty difficult for the Russians to push this corridor because it's heavily fortified. So they're gonna call the Polish, and the Polish say, hell yeah, if you get a lot of land back that we lost. And the Russians say, okay, you can get a bunch of land from the Dutch and from the Polish. So the Polish say, okay. And the Russians send a bunch of troops to this front to surprise the Dutch. And this works really well as the Russians rush into unprotected Dutch territory, instantly crushing major city after major city and completely disorganizing the entire Polish front so they can push into the Polish territory with ease and completely capturing it. Dutch need to completely reorganize their entire front, and it really does not look good for them. They lose 3 major cities in the first few weeks of the invasion, and even more that will follow. And also they join this, the Polish also join the Square Alliance. Down here, the African Union has not so much luck, and they're getting pushed back really fast, and now losing the land that the Iberian claims. Also losing 1 island of the Balearic Islands. But for the Romans, with the help of the African Union, it looks really good. They can quickly recapture all their lands and push into the Italian Union, capturing 1 major city and a bit of land. Now heading to encircle the south from the north. And the first look, it looks really good for the Square Alliance, as they are pushing into Dutch territory, Italian Union territory, and self do not lose very much land. Besides the African Union, no one lost land right now, so it looks really good for them. And the Romans can encircle the south, pushing in, capturing 2 major cities, encircling another part, pushing them and completely recapturing the south. Now only having 1 front to work with, so it's much easier for them. The Russians getting pushed back. The Russians get pushed back by the Dutch, and the old empire does not have as much troops on this front as they used to, because they're shifting the focus on the Italian front, pushed from the bottom. The African Union can make a naval landing in Andalusia, pushing up, capturing this major city, and with the distraction of this naval invasion, they can also make a naval invasion here, recapturing their claims, and pushing up, and now having a huge front. Also, the Romans can make another great push up, capturing no major city, but spreading around the Italian Union lands, circling 2 major cities, and now are at the outskirts of the capital. The Russians lose again a bunch of land against the Dutch, now losing all of their captured major cities, and all the Polish front, the Polish front collapses, the Russian front collapses, and the Dutch re-enter Polish Union territory right here and recapturing this major city. Also, the Dutch push back the small Polish state and make some ground there. So the northern front looks not really good, but the southern front looks really good for the square lines at this point. And with that said, the Romans captured these 2 major cities, obviously with the help of the African Union and the Old Empire, and even captures these 2 major cities, disconnecting the Italian Union from this sea, I don't know what's called, and pushing down the coast into the land. The African Union pushes at the coast, capturing this major city right here, and disconnecting the Andalusians from the Mediterranean Sea. Also capturing this major city, and pushing past into Andalusian land, and capturing the first capital of this war of the Andalusians. Now it's very easy for them to push into Andalusian land, also recapturing their Balearic Island right here, and also pushing into Catalonian land. The Russians lose more and more ground in the east. The Polish team completely capitulates after the capital falls, and from then on out, the Polish and the Dutch can make huge advances into Polish territory, capturing this major city and capturing the capital of the Polish and rescuing a bunch of people there. Also pushing up, capturing this major city, and the Polish front completely collapses for the Russians. The Russians can't stop the invasion or the recapture of the cities, and the Old Empire is worried that the Russians might sell this war because they are capitulate. So they are gonna reorganize their troops back to the Russian front, and this will lead to the recapturement of this major city right here. Also, this major city, and the Romans get pushed back hard, but not too fast, not too strong, because they can make a defense line here and hold the ground. The African Union completely pushes the Andalusians up, capturing this major city, disconnecting this part from the mainland, capturing this major city, and now the Andalusians completely surrender, and the African Union can push now into France and Catalonia properly. So it really does not look good for the Triangle Alliance, as Andalusia, the strongest member of Iberia, surrendered or falls. So yeah, the Polish still making advances in the north, but in the south, the old Imperial troops slowly start to push into the area and recapture territory. Not the capital yet, but it's made. Plans are made to invade the capital again. Now finally, the Dutch realized the huge losses in Iberia and sent some troops down to recapture Andalusia, and this quickly happens. France and Catalonia getting completely recaptured, and small advances into Andalusian territory are made. Up in the north, the Russians can recapture the capital of the Polish and also push into Polish territory. So the war is pretty even right now. The Square Alliance is a bit on top, but the Triangle Alliance can hold them back pretty good or pretty strong. The Romans make an advancement into the Italian Union again, capturing this major city right here, but getting stopped at this front, and they can't push any further. The Andalusians, with the help of the Dutch and the French and the Catalonians, push back the African Union and recapture 2 major cities on this front. The Polish can make advances into Estonia, capturing this major city right here, and try to recapture the northern lands of the Polish Union. But in the south, the Russians and the Old Empire can make also some pretty good advances into Polish territory, capturing this major city right here. And now it's again almost an encirclement for the Polish, and the Dutch can't have any more losses on their side. The Romans can make a great advancement, capture this major city and also this major city right here, making a push for the capital and actually capturing it. And from then on, it's pretty easy for the Romans and the Old Empire as they push up, capturing this major city, and now are at the border of the Austrians, almost at the border. Also, they can capture this major city right here and this major city. So it really does not look good for the Triangle Alliance in Italy. But I mean, the other fronts also don't look really good. So also. The Polish get pushed back in Estonia as they're retreating to don't get encircled, but a bunch of troops are getting encircled, and the Dutch need again to rescue them, but the old empire has planned for this and sent a bunch of troops in the Baltic Sea, destroying a bunch of transport boats and sinking a lot of men from the Dutch. So the Dutch made huge losses in Poland again, and the Russians can push back to Danzig and also recapture some Polish lands, capturing this major city right here, and also recapturing the capital of the Polish. The African Union can push back the front and completely recapture Andalusia, and the war is going pretty one-sided this far, or so far, as the African Union makes advances into Catalonia again and captures this major city and threatens the capital immediately, and also advances into France, capturing nothing, but threatening this major city. The Russians completely recapture Polish Union territory and can completely recapture Polish territory, now entering into Dutch land again, slowly pushing up, capturing this major city right here, but this time they're not pushing that fast or this fast as they previously did, but still making great advancements. The Romans are getting pushed back again, losing this major city right here, and also losing these two major cities as the Triangle Alliance forces try to reach the capital, but they can't really get to the capital and get stopped before the capital. So they lose a bunch of men right on this front right here. Down to the African Union. The African Union captures the capital of Catalonia, capturing this major city right here, and just sweeping through the lands. The French lose this major city right here and are getting pushed back greatly, getting circled right here, a bunch of men getting killed off, and the Romans make a naval landing right here to distract this front right here, which is really working. This major city falls, and a bunch of troops are getting sent back. The Romans can make another advancement here, recapturing this major city and also this major city right here. This naval invasion gets pushed back fast and almost completely eradicated, but they can still hold on. The Polish front, the Russians can make another advancement, capturing this major city right here and also this major city. The Romans can make another great push and capturing this major city and also pushing up in the north into the Alps, capturing this major city again and also threatening this major city. The naval invasion is getting completely pushed back and all the troops are lost in this battle, but the Romans can capture this major city right here and push even deeper into Italian Union territory as they only stand with two major cities left. The African Union pushes Catalonia completely back, capturing these two major cities right here, also making a push into France, capturing the capital of France and pushing up into French territory. And now it's really only the Dutch left in this war, but the Dutch will keep fighting as they can't take another loss. They lost World War I, won World War II, lost all their colonies around the world, and now losing World War III would be devastating for them. But nonetheless, but it's really does not look good as the French capitulate completely, losing these two major cities. The Romans make advancements into this major city right here and this major city, and the Italian Union surrenders, and also the Russians make great advancements into the Dutch territory. Wait, this is not even in this war, so yeah. The Russians move along the border of the Austrians, moving up, and the Dutch need to refocus all their troops. But it's a bit too late as the Romans capture this major city, linking up with the African Union, capturing a bunch of land right here, capturing this major city, but the Dutch will still keep fighting. The public doesn't want to fight anymore because they see this war is lost, but the Dutch king wants to still keep fighting, so a lot of men leave the army and join the other side or just go into a peaceful life, and protests happening all around the Dutch lands as the Dutch lose more and more ground to the Square Alliance. And yeah, it's the Square Alliance just moves through the lands of the Dutch, capturing a major city after major city. At some major cities, actually getting welcomed by the citizens, and Brittany completely falls, Normandy falls. The Russians make advancements, completely encircling the Austrians. They're linking up with the Norwegians, pushing to the main area of the Dutch team. And slowly but surely, they're getting pushed back, and only the capital and one major city stands, and the Dutch king still does not want to give up as they order all their left troops to surround the capital and wait for the enemy, and the enemy encircles the capital and bombards it, and slowly but surely they make a naval landing right here from the back, capturing the capital, and the Dutch team finally surrenders. And this was the very one-sided World War III, and now we can look at a peace treaty. And this is gonna be the peace treaty, and we're gonna just look closely over it. In Andalusia, or in Iberia, we see that Andalusia lost a bunch of land. Now one huge chunk is controlled by the African Union, and one is independent. The Catalonians lost not that much land, lost a bit to the Romans, which we're getting in a moment, and the French or France lost a bunch of land to the Romans and nothing else. The Romans got a huge amount of land as the Italian Union gets completely annexed by them. A bunch of Catalonian, French, and Dutch lands getting annexed into their lands, and also a puppet state getting made in French and Dutch territory. And they want to slowly integrate it into their lands. Then to the Russians get almost all of the Polish Union. A bit goes over to Poland, and also Dutch lands get over to Poland, as well as the Russians, making it a German puppet state in the Dutch. Yeah, and this is the new Europe. We have all these powers getting into all these puppet states, are also getting into the square lines, and this is how Europe. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and a comment down below, and again, subscribe to my YouTube channel. This would help me really a lot. And also in the description you will find the official WICSO Discord server and also my Discord server if you want to check it out. The links are down below in the description. Hope I see you in the next episode of Waves Alternate History, and till then, bye.